It is perhaps the most famous geography paradox in the world. School children learn it, tourists joke about it, and looking at a map, it makes absolutely no sense. Iceland is lush, green, and temperate. Greenland is covered by a massive ice sheet that is 2 miles thick in some places. So, did the map makers just get the labels swapped? Was it a simple mistake? No. The name Greenland wasn't an accident. It was a calculated move. In fact, historians often cite this as one of the earliest and most successful examples of false advertising in human history. Welcome to Simple Things. Today, we are uncovering the Viking marketing scheme behind the name of the world's largest island. To understand the name, we have to meet the man who coined it, Erik Thorvaldsson, better known as Erik the Red. Erik was a Norse explorer living in Iceland in the late 10th century, but Erik had a problem. He had a very bad temper. Around the year 982 AD, Erik was involved in a violent feud that resulted in the death of several men. The Icelandic assembly, known as the Althing, found him guilty of manslaughter. His punishment? Banishment. He was exiled from Iceland for 3 years. Unable to stay in Iceland and unable to return to Norway, Erik did what any Viking explorer would do. He sailed west into the unknown. After navigating dangerous waters, he found a massive landmass. He spent his 3 years of exile exploring the deep fjords and coastlines of this new world. But he was alone. And Erik knew that if he wanted to survive permanently, he couldn't do it by himself. He needed a community. When his exile ended, Erik returned to Iceland with a plan. He wanted to start a permanent settlement on the land he had found, but he knew that convincing people to leave their established homes for a frozen wilderness would be a tough sell. So he got creative. According to the Saga of Erik the Red, a medieval text that records these events, Erik specifically chose a name that sounded appealing. The saga explicitly states, he named the land Greenland, saying that people would be eager to go there if it had a good name. It was pure commercial marketing. He branded the island as a verdant paradise to attract settlers. Now, to be fair to Erik, he wasn't completely lying. We must remember that this happened during the medieval warming period. The climate was slightly warmer than it is today. The deep southern fjords where Erik settled actually did have birch trees and pasture land for grazing cattle, but compared to the name Greenland, it was a massive exaggeration. The vast majority of the island was, and remains, an ice desert. The marketing worked. In 985 AD, 25 ships followed Erik back to Greenland. Only 14 made it, but those who survived established settlements that lasted for nearly 500 years. The irony, of course, is found in the neighbor he left behind. Iceland was named by a Viking named Hrafna Floki, Raven Floki. Legend says he climbed a mountain, saw a fjord full of drift ice, and bitterly named the entire country Iceland, despite the fact that warmed by the Gulf Stream, Iceland is actually quite temperate and green. One man named a green place Iceland because he was having a bad day. The other named an ice place Greenland because he wanted to sell real estate. So, the next time you look at a globe and shake your head at the names, remember Erik the Red. He proved that with the right branding, you can convince people to move to the edge of the world, even if it is covered in ice. If you enjoyed this surprising history, please hit that like button and subscribe to Simple Things. We have plenty more stories to tell. Thanks for watching.